All right. So hi again, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We will talk about our what we've been doing during this week. So
Can't hear you, Anna. Oh, there we go.
you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Very good. Okay. So it's gonna be a pretty short, about an hour long meeting, and let us begin. Everyone again. I'm sorry, I keep repeating. Can you hear me? Yes? I can't hear you.
Yes. We're
Okay.
all on board.
All right, good. So what we've been talking during this week. We spoke about communication culture here in Israel and the way Israelis communicate, which normally could be pretty loud, and we use our hands and there is body gestures, and you will see it quite a lot. Now, the fact that we're loud, many of us, not all of us, we don't necessarily mean harm. It's just the way we communicate and express ourselves. And
Can't hear you. Anat, your mic is off. Anat.
oh, I apologize for that. Can you hear me?
Now you're good.
Oh, okay, thank you. I'm sorry for that. So we spoke about the communication culture here in Israel, and the last thing that I said was about our body language, and that this is just the way we express ourselves. Now, we can be pretty friendly. We hug, we kiss, we shake hands, we touch in the shoulder. I mean, in a friendly way. And if it makes you feel uncomfortable, please make sure to set boundaries and express it. Tell people, ask them, tell them that it's unpleasant for you if you feel that they're being too friendly with you. Okay, it is very important to communicate and express how you feel and put your boundaries. Now, on our second recorded session that I sent you, we spoke about public transportation, and we spoke about Ravkav, the smart card, and the multi-line card, reusable, that you use on public transportation. It's a green card, as you can see here, and you have 3 different cards: personal, anonymous, and semi-anonymous. Now, the personal card, you'll have your photo and details on it. There are benefits that you're getting if you're getting the personal multi-line card. If it's a discount for every trip that you're charge it with money and get a discount, and refill it whenever needed. And the most important thing is that you have insurance for the card. In case the card being damaged, lost, stolen, You can go back to one of the station that available here in the different locations. I will send you a link later on, and you can see, you can read more about the archive, and you can see where the station at, and get a new card. And in case you'll have to get a new card, everything that you had on the old card that was lost, damaged, stolen, etc., will be transferred to the new card. So in case you have money on that old card, everything will be transferred. Now, in case of anonymous card or semi-anonymous, you don't have that type of concern. And in case it's been lost, the money is lost with it. And you don't have your photo on it, so it's gone. And there are many more small details, information that you can find. As I said, I will send you the link later on after today's meeting. And I will send more apps for public transportation. May I ask you to close your mic, please, everyone? Thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, let's see.
Can you close all of our mics?
Yeah, I will do that. All right. So I will send you links for other just for information regarding public transportation. Hopefully it will help. It's a taxi app called Get Taxi, a Move It app, which you can see the transportation, all the buses, you can see it online when they're gonna come to the next bus stop where you need all the buses that you're looking for, the time schedule, and many more information. Sarah?
So we'll review again what we spoke about in the last few meetings. What are the basic values in caregiving work? We talked a little bit about that. Human dignity, autonomy, tolerance, empathy, compassion, and care. We mentioned all of those. Human dignity, very important to think about the fact that you are entering a person's home, his safe place. This is, a stranger coming into their home, causes anxiety probably, maybe not shown, obviously, perhaps in other ways. Be minded, to be respectful, right? In a person's, in the way, everything that concerns privacy. So very important to think about also taking pictures, sending, pictures to other people, even, if you're doing Zoom with family and you're introducing your employer and his family, ask permission for them to be viewed in any kind of camera situation, okay? If they are in some way disabled in their abilities to, to comprehend what's going on, if they have issues with dementia, then you must have the family's permission to show pictures of them in any way. From the back, okay, but not from the front. And confidentiality is a very big part of human dignity. So we want to have your confidence and the family's confidence that whatever happens, is basically in confidentiality. Autonomy, we talked about that. We want to allow our employer to be As autonomous as possible, make all possible decisions. Tolerance, big star next to tolerance, empathy and compassion all go together with care. Next slide, Anat. Intercultural encounter. Intercultural differences are differences in tradition, food, norms, beliefs, values, which vary between nation, people, ethnic groups, and speakers of different languages. Every culture has its own way of expressing itself. Every culture has its own way of defining conflict, passing messages, resolving conflict, and talking about it. Every culture has its own ways to express emotions and talk about emotions. And people usually don't talk about emotions. In most cultures, depends on how close you are, how open you are, and how willing you are to be vulnerable. We talked about that. So it's all about building a relationship. And for most of you, if we were, relying information about this is your first time being in a situation where you're working abroad or whatever, yeah, it's going to be a different kind of an experience. And Anat said you must be minded on how people interact. Well, I would just generally say, watch and learn. And you have to be, attentive to the way people communicate with each other and try to figure out and understand what it is they're saying. Learn the language, very important. And go with the flow. Right.
All right, so I like what you said, Sarah. So true. That's right. So
they're all young people. They'll figure it out very quickly,
Yeah, true. Although it's not going to be easy. All right. So in one of the recorded sessions, we spoke about visas and visas extension. I recommend to go back and watch those recorded sessions of rights and obligations. It is very important, and there's a lot of details over there. They're all important and will help you. Over there, you can check about the geographic limitation, where you can find it on your visa. How to take a holiday if it's outside of the country, and what to do in case you like to extend your visa if you're moving to a different employer. So please go ahead, check it out if you haven't watched it yet, okay, and find out about all the important information. Now, in case you like to leave or change your employer, let's go over a few things. It's going to be challenging, okay, for some of you. I'm not saying that for everyone, but to enter to a new family, to their home, it's going to be challenging. And sometimes we're facing problems that we could not expect. I know you're all, you came here with, when you wanna do it good. You're not, I know that you genuinely want to succeed, want to have, to fit in the family. And sometimes it's not easy. It depends on how the family communicate, and you need to learn how to do it. Now, sometimes we're facing problems and we need to find a way to solve those problems. So I recommend do it with the family, communicate with the family, see if you can work things out, find a solution that will benefit both of you. If you find that it's hard and you cannot find a solution, please contact the placement agency or contact your social worker. And if you still find that there's a problem, please don't hesitate. Contact the call center, okay? The call center is here for you, and we're expecting you. Please use this platform, okay? Now, after everything, if you find that you're still find that there is some problems that cannot be solved, so only after having made a genuine and sincere attempt to carry out into your work and follow the contract, if you decide that you want to leave the employer, you must give prior written notice. Now, for the first 3 months, you will have to stay with the employer for 7 days. So make sure that you know how it's done and follow the law, especially if you want to receive your salary. And in case you like to change your placement agency, that's also okay, but just make sure that in case you're leaving your employer and not your placement agency, you're leaving your employer, the agency be able to assign you to a new family. And in case you're leaving employer and placement agency, you will have to find that placement agency by yourself. Make sure to follow the law, that you can find all the details here in our recorded sessions of rights and obligations, and they will assign you to a new family. So the things we spoke about, it's the special obligation for a prior written notice in case you like to resign. The geographic limitation, which you have to pay attention that you work within the geographic limitation on your visa. Now, in case you're moving to a different employer, make sure, or not make sure, just be aware that PIBA will have the information and be informed about any changes. And if you do it frequently, they may contact you to figure out what's going on. They may invite you for a hearing. So just be aware, try your best to make things work. Sometimes we just need time to adjust. The family is stressed, not just you, and it's hard for them as well. So just be patient, okay? Try to be patient, try to solve things. And we spoke about the requirement concerning registration by foreign caregiver placement agency. What I said before, it's that when you choose, in case you're moving to a new placement agency, they have to be registered with PIBA according to the law. Now, due to COVID-19 situation, it is very important to be aware of any guidance of Ministry of Health. I sent you the links about a week ago after our first meeting, the links to the Ministry of Health where you can find the most updated information. Now, later on I believe it was Sunday, where I send you recorded sessions related to the call center. So please go ahead and check that out. Okay, I don't know if you watched it yet. So as I said, the call center is here for you. In case you like to check something related to your contract, something related to your rights or obligations. If you're not sure about something, if you're not sure that you've been asked to do something that is in your contract, don't forget there are other things that you'll be asked to do that is not related to caregiving, which is helping them, assist them with a daily routine, things that they have in their life. You're their hands and legs, and they will need you. They will need your assistance. So if you're still not sure, please contact the call center. Now, I gave you the cards when I met you at the airport. I don't know if you registered yet, but please do that. Register. And in case you will change the Israeli SIM card, you'll be able to register again, and the old information will be deleted. Now, beside that, I think I mentioned it before that the call center stays in touch with you as well. When you are registered, the call center will send you information. If there is new information that people will publish related to you, you will receive that information through our call center.
Okay, we talked about building and developing the relationship with our employer, our patient. We spoke about several steps in the process. Number one, creating good communication. Number two, coordination of expectations, right? And we must be minded about expectations that are written and expectations that are not written. Our own expectations as well as the expectations of our employer. Building trust, how important that is. And it is a process. It's not something that happens when you snap your fingers. Creating the caregiving alliance, okay? Understanding that there are mutual goals and it is an alliance between you, your employer, and his family. And taking into account social and cultural components. And all of that is very important. Social and cultural components, that includes a person's history, a person's, what has come in to pass during his life, what was his work, what was his accomplishments, what were his disappointments, where does he originate from? Most people in Israel, as you may know, have immigrated at some point in their life from somewhere. And so it's very important to understand a person's history in order to understand the culture that they're, that they're living in. We spoke about.
Next slide.
Next slide.
Super.
Tools for effective communication, right? Understanding how others communicate can be the key to getting your message across to them. In order to develop effective communication style, a few tips to keep in mind. We also mentioned 4 types of communication, if you remember. We talked about the passive communicator, the passive aggressive communicator, and of course, the aggressive communicator and how difficult it is to behave towards that. And we also talked about the assertive communicator, which is the one that we think is the most admirable and the one we strive to achieve in ourselves. Tips for communicating well: take ownership, use the I statement, don't be shy, look a person in the eye, smile, always smile, say what you mean. Maintain eye contact, very important. Wait, go back one. You're controlling my slides today, right?
Yeah.
Voice your needs and desires confidently, right? Okay. And don't forget to smile. Key to everything, guys, smiling. Next slide. Active listening. Okay. You're all on a very big learning curve. And I think the most important thing is to learn to listen, okay, in a real way, okay? Find out what your patient's opinions and thoughts are and emotions, and have the patience to ask many questions and to listen to their answers, okay? Reflection, in order to make sure you understood what your patient meant, try to reflect by saying, I understand that you said so-and-so. And again, I say, if you repeat a person's words, okay, when you repeat their words, they get a feeling of affirmation and that they have been heard properly. Empathy, try to empathize with your patient, even if you don't agree with him. Perhaps he's in pain, he's depressed, he's sad, he's had many losses that he's dealing with. The I message is very important, but you must understand that bringing a caregiver into one's life is a turning point, okay? It's a crisis. It's not, you know, it might be, you know, you might be received very warmly and, you know, and with a lot of love and affection at first, that's good. But you must understand that a person that brings a caregiver into his life is really in a state of crisis, okay? Because for him, it's an affirmation of all that he cannot do anymore on his own. And a person's dignity depends on their independence, every person, okay? When you lose your independence or the loss of abilities to function in any capacity, that means that you are losing a sense of yourself. And so don't forget, this is very important to understand where their psychological and emotional state is. Patience, 4 stars next to patience, guys. This has to be part of, you know, your built-in DNA to be patient. Be patient with the family, with your employer, and most of all with yourself. You're going to make mistakes. It's okay until you learn, until you know who's who and what's what and who's against who and who helps you and who, you know, is willing to be there for you and for your employer. Tolerance, very important, okay? Tolerance, we talked about how that's important, even if you don't agree with your patient or his family, their opinions, the way they think and talk. Listen politely. Nonverbal communication, we talked how important that is. When talking to anyone, maintain eye contact, try to speak at eye level. We talked about eye level, right? Relax your speech, calm your tone of voice, smile. Very important, nonverbal communication.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see did everyone see how Anat snapped her fingers at the cat and she knew exactly what she wanted? We all know how to communicate with each other without one word. Sometimes a look, sometimes a gesture, right? Everything about us says so much without, you know, without words, without any verbal interaction. So take that into account and be very observant to understand all of the gestures, all of the cues that are out there in the new surroundings that you're in. Tips for creating good relationships: be mindful of how you start a conversation, okay? Ask open questions, use the I statement, be specific in the message that you want to transfer, very important, and give others the attitude you want to receive. I don't think there's any culture that if you follow these, you know, these tips that you could possibly go wrong, no matter where you are in the world or what religion you're involved in. Thank you, Anat.
So, culture shock. It is very hard to adjust, especially for those of you with their first time working abroad or even travel. You made a huge step by coming to a new country and you assigned to work for at least 5 years. So it's hard to stay away, far from your family, loved ones. It ain't easy. And moving to a new culture where we're so different. We're pretty different from what you used to. And the food is different. People, like we said, the way we communicate our emotions. So it ain't easy. I recommend to simply be a tourist here in Israel. Travel, learn about the country, about the area where you're going to stay. Learn about the food and the language, study the local language, get used to the sound and the tone. And we said it several times, try to learn Hebrew, the local language. It will benefit you. It will help you adjust, understand people and what they're saying when they're speaking in loud voices. And when you hear the tone, you will understand, even if you don't know all the words, you may understand the context and you'll be able to build yourself an understanding of what they're saying. It will definitely help you. Let's say goodbye for my cat as well. So I recommend to travel, get to know the area, get to know the local language, develop a social life and meet new people. They don't have to be caregivers, but when you travel, try to contact other people and you may find new friends for life for this journey here in Israel. You may find new Israeli friends and it could be pretty awesome. I recommend. You may meet other caregivers from different countries and anything to do with you as a group and the groups who arrived before you. You are a community now. You're part of a community. And I think it's wonderful. And you can support one another and be there. Of course, we are here for you. But I think it could be really wonderful meeting new people from the Philippines and from other countries. And I recommend to be proactive about your physical health. Pay attention to your diet, to your hygiene, get regular rest, exercise, and find a way to relax, whatever works for you. If it's music or speaking with family and friends, read. If you like to use, if you prefer to go on different, but just find a way that will help you relax and try to maintain normal routine, a daily routine where you find a time to yourself as well. You can keep a diary or a blog on social media. And as Sarah said before, just pay attention if you upload photos, please think about everything that Sarah said. Okay, it is very important. You cannot upload photos without the approval. If you need approval from the family, or if you can, if possible, to get the approval from your employer, but you need to respect them. Okay, you need to respect their privacy, and just wanted to remind that. And keep in touch with the family and friends back at home. If there are some events back at home, try to participate even through video calls. Okay, but it is very important to stay in touch. Now, related to that, let's talk a little bit about communication with the family in distance. So it ain't easy to maintain those relationships in long distance relationship. At the beginning, you really depend on them and you're in touch if possible, and I believe if it was possible for you, probably most of the day. But it's not like that. It may not stay that way. And the recorded session that I sent you this morning, I recommend to go and watch. Okay, there are tips that I think can help you, but let's go over about a few tips. Okay, we recommend to just set a time, a specific time, and if it's specific days or an hour, how long you're going to speak with them, and make sure to have video calls, not just text messages or voice notes. Okay, if you have an argument, if you need to make decisions with the family, try to be involved, stay involved, and make sure that you're still there, present. Even if you're not present, physically present, make sure to stay there. Be there when it's hard and they need support, and you will need their support as well. So keep in mind that sometimes it won't be easy, but you need to set up specific time and try to avoid sorting out things in your relationship, that it's not on video calls, because sometimes on voice messages or in text messages, you can find yourself in a situation when you'll be misunderstood and vice versa. So make sure to maintain those relationships and make sure to build them probably. Okay. Now, we did not receive questions from you, so now is the time. If you like to ask any questions, I invite you to do that.
Is anyone still in quarantine on the group here? Everyone still
Already
is
in my employer.
good. All right, finally, yes. Okay.
Yes,
Anyone in quarantine
maybe
from
my
this
question:
group?
how should I load the SIM card? That
Load the SIM card.
yes.
Okay,
SIM card
so
they
on
gave
the back,
us.
remember that you received the card with the SIM card. You have the details over there on the back. Okay, check it out. And if not, is it 019?
Yes,
The SIM card?
019. Yes. Ma'am.
Okay, so normally you can go to their website or check it online. I don't think you need necessarily to call them, but you have it on the card, on the back of the card, and check. You can probably do it online. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Anyone else have any questions? Something we haven't talked about? All right. So later on, you'll have the option to ask us questions. And of course, you can always contact the call center. They're expecting you. Okay. And they are available. So let's continue.
Toda, ma'am. Toda raba.
You're welcome. All right. So regarding the call center, if you haven't registered yet, please register. Okay. I can send you the link again if you like. And here you have the phone number for the call center. Of course, you have the Viber group. but I strongly recommend to contact to the call center directly. Okay, please do that. And as I said before, in case you register with your Israeli SIM card and later on you will have a new Israeli SIM card, make sure to register again. All the old information will be deleted, okay, and the new one will appear. Now, in that case, if everything stays the same, just the phone number will be updated, okay, but you will have to register again. So, this is our last meeting, as we said, and we just finished our last meeting. I guess not happy. So it's been wonderful meeting you all, and we wish you the best of luck. I hope you all find wonderful families to stay with, and stay patient and smile. As Sarah said, don't forget to smile.
I'll just wish you all to have a wonderful adventure. And
It's gonna be quite a journey.
a very big learning journey about culture, about people, about life, about yourself. Take advantage of it, maximize it, and have really have an enormous adventure. And hopefully it'll all be good.
And get to know the country. It's a
Absolutely.
beautiful country to travel. Yes, everyone. So
Good
thank
luck to you all.
again. Good luck. If you have something to say, please go ahead. It's a good time. If not, we'll say goodbye for now.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank